It was spring in the jungle. The trees were blossoming. Birds were singing. All the animals were happy. At least all except for one bee. Her name was Big-Eyed Bee Sophie. She had huge bulging eyes that made her look very funny. But even though she was very smart, flying fast and collecting nectar quicker than any other bee, she didn't get along with her fellow bees. One day, Sophie was flying alone near a tall tree when she saw a beautiful purple flower on its topmost branch. She had never seen such a flower before, but she really wanted to check it out, so she decided to fly up. Meanwhile, back at the hive, the other bees were preparing for an important mission. They had received a message from their scout bees that there was a big patch of white flowers, full of sweet nectar, just 2 meadows away. This was great news because they needed more nectar to make more honey. But no one was excited. They had been working hard for many weeks already, and now the rains had come. It was going to be a long, hard season. The first bee to raise an objection was Benny. He was a grumpy old bee who had been stung by a wasp when he was young. That's why his left leg was shorter than the right one. He always complained about everything and everyone, especially when he had to do something new. What if we run into hornets? What if it rains? What if we lose our way? It's all nonsense. Don't be such a scaredy cat, said Tina, another bee who wanted to lead the group. But Benny still refused. No, I am not going. And so the other bees had to go without him. As they approached the meadow, they noticed something strange. There was a thick fog, and the flowers were nowhere to be seen. Suddenly, a voice startled them. Who goes there? The bees flew back, startled by the sudden appearance of a huge green caterpillar munching on a leaf. We are looking for white flowers full of nectar. Have you seen any? Asked Tina. The caterpillar pointed his fat finger towards the right. I think they are that way, but be careful. There is a bird's nest nearby. Those birds love eating bees. The bees thanked the caterpillar and flew away. Now they were buzzing around anxiously. The rain started to fall. The wind picked up, and the temperature dropped. All the bees felt scared and wished they could go home, but they couldn't turn back now. They had to find the flowers. The mission was too important. At that moment, Sophie flew over them. She had just returned from the purple flower, which turned out to be a rare species that only bloomed once a year. Seeing the sad faces of her fellow bees, she asked, "Why are you all here? Don't you know it's a bad day to collect pollen? We are looking for white flowers, but we can't find them. Can you help us, Sophie?" asked Tina. "Of course," replied Sophie, and she led them to the meadow where the flowers were. After a while, they found a cozy place under a broad leaf to hide from the rain. There they waited until the storm passed. Sophie sat in the middle of the circle formed by the bees, and after a while, she began to feel comfortable. She liked being with them. The bees also liked having her around. For the first time, they forgot about their problems. When the sun came out again, they all started to work. They collected pollen and nectar and stored them in their sacks. They were so happy to have found such a treasure on such a sad day. Suddenly, Benny appeared. "I knew you would find something," he said with a smile. "Don't tell me you weren't scared," Sophie asked him. "A little," Benny admitted, "but that's what we do, isn't it? We work hard even when we are scared." Just then, a big spider hanging from a nearby twig said, "That's right, even when you are scared, you must keep trying to accomplish your goals." The bees didn't mind sharing their food with the spider, and soon they were all sitting together under the leaf, chatting and laughing. But their party was interrupted by a shout. "Help, somebody, please help." A young firefly was trapped inside the spider's web. She struggled to free herself, but the more she struggled, the more tangled she became. The spider laughed wickedly. "It looks like dinner has arrived early today." Hearing this, Sophie became angry. She flew straight towards the spider and started to sting its legs. The spider screamed in pain and released the firefly. Touched by Sophie's bravery, the firefly said, "You don't have to thank me. I would have done the same for you." Then she flew off. Soon she was joined by her mother, who was the leader of the fireflies. "Thank you for saving my daughter, kind bee. How can I ever repay you?" "Oh, no need to repay me. I simply couldn't stand that mean spider hurting you." "Well, if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to ask us fireflies. We will always be there for you." When the grateful firefly left, Benny said to Sophie, "I have never seen a bee defend a bug. Usually we just collect pollen and avoid everyone else. You really are special, Sophie." Sophie blushed, but before she could say anything, the sky darkened again. "Oh no, not again," cried one of the bees. "Don't worry, we will protect you," said Sophie, remembering how they had helped her and the other bees. They huddled together under the leaf until the rain stopped. When the sun finally came out again, Sophie said, "I think we should go home. I am sure the others will be worried about us." "Good idea," said Tina. "Let's go." They all waved goodbye to their new friends, the fireflies, and flew home. As soon as they arrived at the hive, the other bees ran out, asking them, "Where were you? We were so worried. Are you all right?" "We are fine," replied Tina. "But we couldn't find the flowers. The mission is a failure." "Don't be silly," said Sophie. We found the most wonderful flowers. And the best thing is, we found lots of honey. The bees were surprised. You did, but how? Asked one of them. Well, we met some new friends on the way, a spider, a caterpillar, and a family of fireflies. They showed us a beautiful meadow full of white flowers. We collected as much nectar and pollen as we could, and now we have enough honey for the whole winter, said Tina proudly. That's great news, said the other bees, and they all buzzed happily. From that day on, Sophie became friends with all the other bees. They learned to appreciate her intelligence and kindness and never complained when she wanted to go on an adventure. As for Sophie, she understood that sometimes it is better to listen to others and that true friendship is the most precious thing in the world. Once upon a time, there was a beehive deep within the jungle. Inside the beehive lived a very smart bee named Sophie, but she was a bit of a loner. One day, Sophie decided to venture out of the beehive and explore the jungle. On her adventures, she met a wise old turtle who shared with her the secret to happiness.